Hello everyone and welcome to this session in which we will talk about the metaverse in the banking and financial services industry. And throughout the session, we will introduce some basics about the metaverse and we will discover the importance of the economy and payments in virtual worlds. And finally, we want to finish with some examples of real cases that some banks are already implementing. So let's start with introductions. Okay, I am Miguel Tavera and currently I work at Havana. My role in the company is innovation lead in Spain, and I am also a Microsoft MVP thanks to my contributions in the area of Microsoft 365 apps and services. Here you have all my contact info, and I'm very happy to be here today. And Angel?
Hey, hello everyone. My name is Angel in English. I'm working with Miguel as co-workers in Havana. But in case my role is modern work solution architect, and I'm also MVP in Microsoft 365 apps and services. And well, we also are partnering together into the technical community here in Spain regarding to the Microsoft 365. And we are also doing our event near Christmas. It's called Academy 365, just to all the people who wants to start in the Microsoft 365 technology and doesn't know how to achieve. So thank you everyone for staying here. Let's start with the session. And first of all, we're going to talk about of a birth in a new paradigm. If you remember, at the beginning of the 90s, the internet become abroad to everyone, and it started to be available, the very first websites, and everything needed to be consumed going to every website in order to consume information. Maybe you went to MSN or maybe to Yahoo or GeoCities or any other one that we already have in those times. And in that time, we were talking about the Internet of Data, because there was a lot of knowledge and a lot of information available for everyone who wanted to connect it to internet and to access them anywhere, anytime, just with the knowing the URL of the address and going to consume all the information that it was over there. In the 2000, we had a change. In this case, we started with the social networks, and it changed to the Internet of People, because everyone started to be connected through the different social networks, such as Facebook. Here in Spain, we had 20, which was pretty same as Facebook. And the idea was to interconnect or to connect people around the world, independently the distance they had in that moment, and bringing to us all the digital social life that we had in that moment. 10 years later, although this kind of new internet is still working on these days, we are talking about Internet of Things. We are starting to connect machines. For example, we are trying to connect different vehicles in order to provide information, maybe in traffic jams. We are starting to interconnect, for example, in our houses, lamps with lights and different connectors. So the idea is not only connecting information with websites and people, but also any other things that we are having around us, and starting to create some smart cities or smart things that we can interconnect and get work with them. But in this decade, we are having another change. We are not talking only about people or things, but also we are talking about places. because the idea is to create virtual worlds where everybody can join us, can join to any custom space, both not only in the real world, but also in the virtual one, in order to establish a connection between both worlds and stay together in a new social or a new sense of belonging between individuals that we are having inside a community. But before going to any other information, let's start with a short history. And in this case, Miguel.
Yes, let's see a short introduction to the history of the metaverse. I imagine that you have heard many times during the day that the metaverse is not something new. Many of its concepts have existed for many years, mainly because the world of video games and entertainment. But the concept of metaverse, the word metaverse, was coined in 1992 in a novel written by Neil Stephenson. The novel is Snow Crash. This novel presented a virtual world parallel to the real world, which already contained many concepts that are very common today, such as avatars. In the novel, users could connect to this world from terminals or from VR glasses. But remember that it was 1992. Neil Stephenson predicted a lot of concepts that we are using today, like the way we connect to the metaverse. But before this novel, many companies were already exploring the metaverse. A very interesting case is a video game released in 1985 by Lucasfilm Games, the video game development company of Lucasfilm. Lucasfilm is the company behind Star Wars, Indiana Jones, Willow, or other blockbusters. So Habitat was released for the Commodore 64, and it used the Commodore network connection to present a 2D multiplayer world in which each scenario was represented by a screen with a background and playable characters. So the interaction was by text, but it's like a metaverse. And many players around US played with the game during some years, and the company used it to make their annual general meeting for employees with George Lucas. George Lucas spoke on this meeting. So it's crazy to think that it's 1985. But during the 90s and 2000s, the metaverse evolved thanks to the world of video games and thanks to the science fiction. Active Worlds was an example of a metaverse based on Snow Crash that still exists today. And in cinema, films like The Matrix presented a fictional virtual world in which humans were connected and trapped. 2002, I think, is important because it was the year when the digital twin was born at the Florida Institute of Technology. And the next one is Second Life. Second Life is very important for our session because it was a platform in which several popular brands offered virtual versions of their products for sale. So brands such Adidas, Calvin Klein, Mercedes-Benz became very popular on the platform. There are some examples from the world of video games, such as World of Warcraft, I don't know, Fortnite, and other video games. We also have Roblox, one of the most used metaverses in the world. On Roblox, millions of users play different experiences every day. And they buy content, they buy clothes, skins, or improvements for their avatars, spending real money and using its internal economy based on its own currency, the Robux. 2006 was the year when Bitcoin was born, and in 2009, Minecraft was born. Minecraft is now owned by Microsoft, and it's another of the largest metaverses in the world, which connects millions of players daily. And in 2011, there was an important novel called Ready Player One. Ready Player One, it's also a movie that Steven Spielberg directed. On this novel, Ready Player One reflects very well what the metaverse could be in the future of humanity. It features a virtual world called Oasis, in which many of the world's most relevant events happen inside Oasis and not in the real world. It's crazy. And finally, 2021 was a very important year because Facebook rebranded its company as Meta with the intention of focusing on the evolution of the metaverse. And it was also the year when Microsoft introduced Mesh platform, which we are already starting to experience inside Teams or other products.
So,
Okay.
as Miguel said, there are several examples during the whole history that we are talking about metaverse, and probably we are not knowing that we are in a metaverse or we are using a metaverse itself. So, first of all, we are going to talk about what is metaverse. So, metaverse itself, it's a virtual space to connect. We are talking about video games like Habitat, the first one. We are talking about Fortnite. We are talking about Roblox. So most of them we can know, or at least we can know that we are using a metaverse because we are in a virtual space. One important thing is that that virtual space can imitate the real world. So there are some examples in Fortnite that they are creating maps that they are pretty real look-alike. So we don't need to stay in a virtual and unexistent world. We can imitate the real world, and Minecraft is another one that is that they are creating real parts of the earth that we can consume and visit over there. Metaverse is also important because we can do meetings over there. Okay, it's not the normal thing, but the point is that we collaborate and socialize inside the metaverse. So most of our kids probably they are playing Fortnite, and they are talking with their friends, and they are playing with their friends, and also probably as Miguel's son is also in Roblox and spending their time with their family. So because they consider that there is an evolution in the communication nowadays, because first of all we were talking about mail. Later on we went to phones. Later on we went to video calls and so on. And now we are starting to socialize and to collaborate inside the metaverse, being in that virtual space where we can connect. We don't need to be connected physically. We don't need to see each other. But if we can also talk maybe in a different way, and maybe doing another things that they is not only be sat on the sofa, could be great. And this joins with the point that interaction can also be done by voice, by text, or by movements. For example, if we are playing Fortnite, we are with our headset and we are talking with each other, we are interacting with voice. We can stay in Minecraft and we are using our keyboard and our mouse in order to interact with the world, with that virtual space. And this leverage that a metaverse is completely accessible with a PC, with a screen, and it's not necessary to have a virtual reality or a mixed reality headset or Google in order to access to that metaverse. So we are surrounded with different virtual spaces where everyone can collaborate and socialize, and it doesn't need to be with a virtual reality headset. And the most important thing, a metaverse is a mass connection of people. If two of us stay in a meeting, in a Teams meeting room, it's not a metaverse. But if we are including a lot of people in which they can collaborate and socialize, they will leverage the power just to a metaverse. And linking to that, we are talking about generalism, but now we are going to be more concrete. And in this case, we are going to talk about metaverse for banking. So, first of all, is there a high business potential in banking? Yes, it is. And here it is the proof that we are having a lot of platforms and services that they have a lot of time, like Roblox, Fortnite, Minecraft itself, and also Decentraland and CryptoVoxels, that they are having millions of people, millions of active users per month and also per day. For example, Roblox, more than 200 million people per month and almost 50 million people per day. And the audience is, most of the audience is related to the generation Z, because they are the ones that they were born and raised in a digital world, and they consider that metaverse is another thing more just to explore and to be in contact with other people. And not only is important the type of the audience, but it's also important the time that they are spending in that platforms. For example, in Roblox, they almost spend 3 hours per day, 2.6 hours per day per user, and they are spending money inside that platform. So when we are talking about platforms, metaverse, where money is really involved, and they have an economy and an alternative or a parallel economy over there, banking will be a main player in those business because it is involved money in that case. So, for example, in Fortnite, every user spends in average $85 because they want to buy some skins, they want to make some modifications and so on. So they are spending real world money in that metaverse. And this is bringing us some business models in where there are some experiences, there are some shoppings, advertisings, and blockchains, NFTs, talking about the centralized, in this case, metaverse, like Sandbox, where most of the most of the movements are done. And talking about that, I'm going to give you some examples of experience in the metaverse that will, I think, blow your mind a little bit. First of all, Sotheby's is an auction house, the world oldest auction house in the world related to luxury and art. And they already opened a metaverse for its for their digital collectors, and there are several NFTs associated with the digital art that is already sold over there. So they are not only doing auctions physically, but also they are doing in the metaverse, and they are doing really well with their prices and the items that they are selling. But we are not only talking about physical, or in this case, things that we can see or we can have. We are also that they are companies such as Terra Zero that is announcing the first metaverse mortgage for the digital property in the Decentraland. So you now can buy a property, you can buy some field in the Decentraland, and you can also invest your money in get a mortgage because you are going to own a parcel, a plot of in the Decentraland. No, so these ideas are completely crazy, and as you can see, we are getting closer as the business of financial services and banking itself. So we are going to talk it a little bit more, and we are going to expand it a little bit more later. But the concept is already there, and they are working over there. more things that they are really important. For example, the city of Seoul is the first city in the metaverse. They mapped completely the city completely in the metaverse, and you can get your avatar in order to do official inquiries, complaints, and so on. You can go to the town hall and going to the police in order to do all the stuff related to administrative tasks just in the metaverse. Another thing that we are having, for example, a march through time in order to replicate the speech from Martin Luther King. We are also having experiences related to music and video games. In this case, there was a concert of Ariana Grande in Fortnite where 28 million people attended inside the platform, inside the metaverse, completely personalized for this kind of events. So as you can see, metaverse is moving a lot of millions of people, a lot of money, and there are a lot of things that we can experience over there. Okay, so in this case, for example, and last example is a Gucci bag, which was sold for more than $4,000, which is even more expensive than the real bag. So we are having a change of paradigm here. We are shifting our knowledge, and we are considering that metaverse has a high business potential over there. But in any case, we are going to talk about Gen Alpha, Gen Z, and Millennials visit metaverse. And now, Miguel, it is your turn again.
Okay, thank you, Angel. As you have seen, this new form of communication and social interaction cannot be ignored. The younger generations use the metaverse frequently, and they spend a lot of time inside virtual experiences. Now we want to show you some examples of specific experiences that have been designed in Roblox and Minecraft. Our intention is to show you that users of these and other platforms are spending their money here in the metaverse. And there are several economies generated around these experiences. Perhaps these examples are closer to the world of retail, but we believe they are interesting for us to be aware of the opportunities that are presented to the banking sector. And after that, we will look for more examples related with banking. The first of them is Sonic Speed Simulator. Sonic Speed Simulator is an experience that Sega, the developer of the Sonic video games, designed inside the Roblox platform. Roblox is a platform that contains thousands and thousands of experiences inside it. Any company or developer can design its own experience and publish it in Roblox, and users can connect to every experience to play with it. So in Roblox, you can find a lot of experiences like sports, races, spaces to build your own house, exhibitions, cultural activities, everything. So last year, when the new Sonic movie was released in theaters, Sega partnered with a Roblox developer, and they created a virtual world similar to the Sonic video games, but inside Roblox. The idea is that users could explore the different scenarios from the Sonic movie or from the Sonic video games, and also spend their money on buying avatars of Sonic and his friends, or spend their money on upgrades, on companions, different things. So a small economy has been built around this experience, and this game is still online today, and users are still spending a lot of money inside it. Another example is a deal that Microsoft made with Puma brand, to design a series of experiences inside Minecraft so that users could dress up with Puma clothing inside Minecraft. In the Minecraft virtual store, you can buy clothes, t-shirts, sneakers, and other virtual items from Puma to put on your avatar. And the clothes and the clothes could be used in a series of Minecraft experiences, such as race tracks to compete with your friends. The interesting thing about the experience is that the same clothes that you bought digital on Minecraft are available in the physical stores of Puma as real clothes with Minecraft branding. So it was a very interesting experiment. And another experience at Roblox was created by Nike. Nike designed a space full of sports courts where users can play many sports with their avatars. The idea of this experience is to be able to socialize with friends while playing football, basketball, tennis. And since you are in the world of Nike, well, you also have a sportswear store where you can buy many virtual Nike products so that your avatar can go properly dressed to play sports. If you are not familiar with these experiences, it can be difficult to understand them at the beginning, but remember that millions of players play daily in Nike Land and other games. This economy is very important. Perhaps Roblox and Minecraft are mainly used by younger generations like Gen Z or even millennials, or Gen Alpha, but they should not be underestimated. If you have young children, it is a fact that they spend their money on these platforms today inside the metaverse. I can tell you my own experience. My children no longer ask me for physical money, I don't know, to buy sweets or to buy trading cards. They ask me to buy them Robux, the currency of Roblox, or Minecoins, the currency of Minecraft. What they want is to buy items inside these platforms to use when playing with their friends or were calling them inside the metaverse. This is something that the banking world cannot ignore. There is a great economical potential behind it. But banking, let's move to the next slide. Okay, and banking, how does this affect to the banking industry? Well, there are some experiences already created by banks in the metaverse. So let's start with this example. This is an experience that ING Bank designed for Roblox. I think it was ING from Poland. These screenshots are taken from the ING City, a virtual city that was created for young players. The main objective of this virtual world is to help young generations to learn some financial concepts while having fun. In this case, no real money is spent on this experience. It's just a game made by the bank to learn how to save money, how to earn money doing jobs, and how to spend money responsibly. At ING City, users start by creating their virtual bank account and their virtual credit card, and with the credit card, they can buy items in the city. And when their money runs out, they must do jobs or tasks in the city in order to earn their salary. We think this is a very interesting experience developed by a bank. The screenshots below were made by us while preparing this session. I remember that when I entered the city, I found many players from all over the world who were enjoying the game, interacting with each other, and performing their jobs and their tasks. And with this example, we want to link with the following. How can banks take advantage of the growth of the metaverse to add value to their customers? So, Angel, let's go to the next slide with some interesting concepts.
Yeah, and the first one is one that probably most of us we had an issue with, is bringing humanity back into banking. So probably maybe with your parents or your grandparents, if they go to a bank nowadays, they will probably face that they are no people in those offices in order to attend them and help them in order to perform their daily activities, just maybe get some money, extract some money from bank account, or doing a deposit or something like that. Or maybe a question regarding an invoice that they have in their bank accounts that they don't understand. So everything was replaced by machines, by cash machines, and so on, that they are getting more and more powerful, and they can liberate the people to perform their own tasks by themselves. So that's the main issue and the main point that the banking is trying to get back, is bringing that humanity, because we went emotionally detached, and having this experience in the metaverse will provide banks a good opportunity to bring this humanity back, because we are going to establish deepen connections between people, between customers, in more ways. And we don't need to go to an office to meet a real person, because a real person will be behind our avatar. Okay, probably it's not suitable for our grandpas, but in any case, if we are getting older, we are having the same issue, but we are used to that kind of technology, and probably just having an interaction through the mobile phone or through a virtual reality headset and so on, we are probably getting this connection again with the bank. And banking is aware of this topic, and they are trying to use metaverse in order to recover that emotion that we lost in the past years. But not is not only the key point, but also managing this risk virtually are also important for them, because they are working around privacy ethics inside the metaverse. For example, they are talking, or they are working in order to avoid fraud, in order to avoid identity supplantation of another people, because all these tasks have an impact in humans on digital platforms, and they need to be very aware of what these digital platforms will become, in order to regulate them, and in order to establish a good connection between the physical person who is connecting and who is having the real product, the real life itself, with the virtual ones, and in order to not having any problems where we are, for example, lending money to the people in case they want to buy a mortgage and so on. So these main topics are really important for banking nowadays, and they are pushing in that way in order to get the metaverse a real opportunity, apart from the business one that we already saw in the previous slides. So in our last part of the presentation, we are going to talk about some banking scenarios and use cases. It's not only theory or and something like that, but we are also talking about examples. And in this case, Miguel, coming back to you.
Thank you, Angel. Here we have compiled some more interesting examples of what banking is doing today. Important, do not think that the banks are not working on metaverse. There are many examples where different concepts or technologies are being exploited. We believe that banks are the organizations best positioned to respond to customer demand for the metaverse, because they are one of the organizations that have best digitized all their processes and tools for end users. Today, the best digital tools offered by companies to the public and to their customers are those offered by banks. There are many banks that have excellent apps that we can use to open an account, to manage our credit cards, and do almost any operation to avoid having to go to a physical office. An interesting fact is that 47% of bankers believe that customers will use AR or VR as an alternative channel for transactions from now to the year 2030. So let's see these blocks. In the first block, on the left, we can see examples of some virtual experiences that banks already offer to their customers. For example, the Kookmin Bank of South Korea already has a virtual space to allow conversations between a customer and bank employees with avatars in their virtual bank in order to do banking operations. And BNP Paribas has launched a VR app for customers similar to their smartphone app, so they can do operations and transactions, including account opening. And Citi has tested holographic workstation for financial trading. It's crazy. And it is interesting, the Imagine Bank, a digital-only bank from CaixaBank, a Spanish bank. Imagine was the first fintech on the Metaverse. They have launched Imagine Land on the last years, a Metaverse platform that has now 3.7 million of customers. So the second block in the middle is related to patents and innovation. Many companies are registering very interesting patents related to the metaverse and to virtual experiences and virtual currencies. Organizations like MasterCard, American Express, or New York Stock Exchange are now patenting applications, processes, and operations related to the use on NFTs. The third block contains examples and scenarios related with real estate. Organizations like HSBC are investing in virtual real estate at platforms like the Sandbox. The Sandbox is a decentralized metaverse, and they are investing in real estate inside these platforms to engage with people, with possible customers. In this case, with esports and gaming fans, for example. And Standard Chartered has also acquired a land at Megacity. Megacity is an important district inside the Sandbox with a lot of culture content and artists and things like that. JP Morgan has moved into the metaverse with Onyx, that is a virtual loan in the Centraland. The Centraland is another decentralized metaverse based on blockchain technology that has now millions of users. Their idea is to facilitate operations, payments, currency exchange, and other operations inside the metaverse. In the fourth block, more focused on cryptocurrencies, we can find hundreds of very interesting initiatives by all banks. On these examples, we have Mercobank, a bank from Sweden. They are now piloting a digital asset custody service, and Commerzbank from Germany is working on safekeeping services for cryptocurrency for their customers. For banks, it's very important to be able to train their employees so that they know how to have all kinds of conversations with their customers. So in many industries, not only banking, the metaverse is beginning to be used as a training platform in which to simulate real conversations with potential customers and learn inside a safe environment. So banks like Bank of America are rolling out these simulations for their employees. In the case of Bank of America, 50,000 of employees are being trained inside a virtual experience. And what about technological companies? All the big techs have been very interested in entering the world of finance for many years. For example, Apple is now launching their own bank account and their own credit cards in the United States. So it's not a surprise to find out that they are also developing many finance-related assets in the metaverse. For example, Meta is developing a virtual token for the metaverse. The code name is Bucks, Yes, it's real, Thugbacks. Their intention is to have a virtual currency for spending only on meta sites and meta apps. Meta will control Thugbacks directly, like the in-game currencies used at Fortnite and Roblox, like the Robux that we mentioned before. So we hope that all these examples have been inspiring. As you can see, there is great economic potential behind the metaverse, and the banks best positioned in the future will be the ones that start exploring its possibilities today. So with all of this, very quick, we have some minutes. Angel, we can move to the next slide. With all of this, we wanted to show you one last experience in which Angel and I participated last year. This scenario was developed for a Spanish bank. It was a part of a set of initiatives that we developed for them with the objective of bringing banking closer to the younger public. Working with them, we have noticed that new generations are very resistant to talking to a bank through traditional methods, phone, email, visit an office. And we designed with them several communication channels with focus on Generation Z public. On one hand, there is this experience in a virtual world, but we made some other experiences. The idea of this project is that a user can connect to a virtual experience and take a journey inside a group of virtual islands. On each island, the user will consult certain information and also take a series of quizzes. Those quizzes will be used by the bank to learn about the experiences that the user is interested in. We can move to the second video, Angel. The interesting thing is that the bank agent does not have to connect to the virtual. The bank agent does not have to connect to the virtual experience. Our intention is to keep him working inside his tools, inside the Microsoft Teams ecosystem, and not inside the metaverse. So we have designed a panel with all the information about the user actions. And the panel was made with Viva Connection. So the bank agent can consult all the information inside Teams and inside his internet. And if the user wants to speak with the bank agent, this is where our team made an important achievement. We were able to integrate a Teams call inside the virtual world. So the client remains in the metaverse and the bank agent speaks with voice and with video without leaving his Teams application. He is in a regular Teams meeting, but the client is inside the metaverse. We made this by using some cloud services like Azure Communication Services and Microsoft Teams. So I think we have here an example of the video call inside the virtual island. So this is the end of these examples. We can move to the final slide. So we hope that the session has been interesting and useful for you. For my part, it has been a pleasure, and we hope to continue participating in these future editions of this event. Let's see if soon it is organized inside the metaverse. So I don't know if we have questions. Angel, please. Up to you. You want to say something?
As I've seen in the chat, there are no questions, but in case there is anyone, just type in there and we will reply.